So, today I'm going to be hitting the slopes, so I'm not going to be available to watch the Vancouver Canucks playoff against the Edmonton Oilers, but I am going to be in a position to potentially make a post-game video about it later on into the night, so we'll see whether or not the Canucks are able to bounce back and do some damage. At the time of me recording this audio, it is actually Friday night, so I am pre-recording this heading into Saturday afternoon. But what I wanted to do was head over to sportsnet.ca. Because, like always, it's Ian McIntyre going out there and giving us a Canucks scoop that might just be indicative of how everything crumbles. Take a look at this piece, it'll be linked in the description. Also linked in the description is our ExpressVPN affiliate link. Go ahead and use our page to get some free months on your VPN, and it helps the channel out too. But Ian McIntyre wrote and published this on January 17th. It's actually today for me speaking into this microphone. It's yesterday for you listening to this video on the 18th. Brock Boeser is hoping to be a part of the Canucks solution as his future hangs in the balance. Now, when it comes to Brock, he is one of these players that I think is more so under the radar in the trade conversation for the team. Of course, I'm recording this on Friday night. If there is some sort of a big blockbuster trade done between now and the time this video is public on YouTube, then we'll make a video about it at that time. But Brock Boeser, at the time of me speaking into this microphone, is a trade option, even though he might not be the most obvious. 27 years old, $6.65 million a year. His contract expires at the end of the season, and he is on a decline. Last year, Brock produced at a 73-point clip with 40 goals in the process. This year, he is on pace for 54 points. Now, funny enough, he actually still is on pace for his second-best goal-productive season ever. He's got 15 and 37 games played right now. He is on pace for 30 goals in 75 games. Boeser had never hit 30 before last season, despite coming close multiple years. Last year, though, was the best year we had seen out of Brock Boeser ever, and to say that he has taken a step back certainly isn't the hottest take in the world, especially when you consider the fact that he was a point-per-game player for the Vancouver Canucks in the playoffs last year. Now, with JT Miller not producing as much as he has been in the past, and with him just not being as good as he has been in the past either, Brock Boeser and all the line mates that Miller plays with, they have taken a hit production-wise too. Where Brock was feeding off of the coattails of Miller's playmaking, a factor which allowed Boeser to get 40 goals and for Miller to get 100 points, things have definitely not been as consistent, nor have they been as pristine as they were last year. They're not controlling the puck as well, they're not moving it as well, they're not producing. So, when it comes to Brock, a guy whose contract is expiring, a lot of people haven't necessarily talked about him to the same extent that Miller and Pettersson's name are getting discussed. But lo and behold, the Vancouver Canucks are not a good team this season. And with Brock Boeser as an expiring contract, you definitely have to think about the idea of him getting moved. With all this in mind, let's go over onto Ian McIntyre's article and read some of these comments that Boeser made from Friday. All I want to do right now is help our team and be a part of the solution, getting our team back on track, Boeser said. I mean, really, play some good hockey with these guys, and then let management make a decision on me. I don't want to have it be like this. These are some of my best buddies, and I know we can win hockey games. I really believe we can right this ship and start winning hockey games, and I really want to do that and help our team get going again. And then when the time comes, they can make their decision. And what a nice sentimental answer here from Brock when it comes to expectations and his belief in this group of guys. We've known for quite a while now that Brock is really good friends with Elias Pettersson, and he is technically the longest tenured Canuck alongside of Guillaume Brisebois, of all people. So I don't think it's a hot take to conclude that Brock Boeser has some emotional ties to the organization and to the city, especially considering his nickname on the team for a while was Mr. Sensitive, a fact that he got super sensitive about when the Global TV news crew went out there and asked him about it. Regardless, let's go out there and read some more of what IMAX says. Both Alvin and President Jim Rutherford have been lukewarm in comments about re-signing Brock Boeser, possibly because other Canucks players have presented them with unexpected problems that are far bigger, such as what to do with disengaged stars Pettersson and Miller. Boeser hasn't helped himself or the team by only scoring once, with 1 assist in his last 8 games. Halfway through his contract season, he has 15 goals and 27 points in 37 games played, after scoring 40 goals last year when Alvin said he thought Boeser could have had 50. That, I think, is another underrated aspect of the entire season, too. Boeser was on pace for 50 goals. He could have had 50 goals if he just didn't leave his foot off the gas pedal for a while in the second half of the year. Patrick Alvin even said so, that, yeah, I thought that Boeser could have scored 50. I told him that. I told him, you had 40. You could have had 10 more if you just didn't stop scoring. Any team that's not doing well, there's going to be changes, Boeser said. I haven't played to my best this year, and I expect better for myself. And, I'm a UFA at the end of the year, so they could look at me and be like, he's the easy guy to trade right now. A lot of individuals have goals and expectations, including myself. I need to be better. I need to be better for the team and help drive the bus and be a leader. Things haven't been easy. There's been a lot of injuries and distractions and stuff. It's been a hard year. But right now, I'm just trying to be a part of the solution and come to the rink and keep working. Keep working in games and be a good teammate. And I think it's really interesting that Boeser directly addresses the conversation of him getting traded, saying that, hey, when you think about the contractual situation, I'm the easy guy. I'm the easy person to label a trade onto. And this was also expanded upon a little bit more in regards to the iMac article here. Boeser is one of those guys in the dressing room who can bridge the gap between Pettersson and Miller and help pull the team together. But, like so many others, Boeser must play better. His season was actually off to a strong start when he amassed 6 goals and 11 points in the first 12 games, before Tanner Jeannot's blindside headshot in LA knocked Boeser out of the lineup with a concussion on November 7th. Speaking about games against LA, iMac asks Boeser about the LA game from 2 days ago. And Boeser said this is just really frustrating, especially because I truly believe we all had a good mindset going into that game. And then, 10 minutes in, we were down 3-0. We have to keep going. We still have a lot of games left. We all know, we've talked about it, that we've kind of lost our identity a bit, and we've got to find our identity as a team and as each individual. I think that's the first step to the solution. I definitely didn't picture it like this, Boeser said of this season of turmoil. After last season, we learned a lot, and we have an understanding of how to win, and I feel like we still know that, but we're just not doing it. And it's frustrating. We're still a point out of the wild card. That's a blessing. If we right this ship and start winning some games, we're right there. That's one of the positives we need to take away right now. We're right there. We've got to come together as a group. That's the only way we're going to get out of this, if we stick together and have each other's backs. And I don't know, man, I'm reading these quotes. I'm seeing Boeser's perspective on the entire thing. This is a guy that sounds like, he does want to stay in Vancouver. And I don't think that's too hot of a take. I think a lot of people would assume that Boeser would be in that kind of mindset too. We all recognize his personality and his role on the team, plus the success he had last year, getting 70 points and 40 goals. But as we had talked about from that Nikhil tweet yesterday, or 2 days ago, I guess, this is what he said during the LA game. Trade Miller and Boeser, retool the D and change the core. Sorry, but I have seen enough. How is Boeser catching strays? One of the top replies asks. At least he's been trying, and he's been better when he's on other people's lines. He's not worth the 8x8 though. It's just the business. You need to get value for him instead of letting him walk for nothing. And I guess it all boils down to that, right? If the Vancouver Canucks are not able to get Boeser to return on a contract that they deem fits for what they're trying to build, they're going to have no choice but to trade him. If Boeser starts playing hardball with this contract, like he really wants to squeeze out a 7.5 or a 7.7 or an $8 million AAV, then the Canucks are going to have no choice but to trade this guy. I'm sorry, I know he just had 40 goals last year, he was a point per game in the playoffs last year, he had 70 points last year, but this guy's slumping this season. If he gets 30 goals, then okay, great, but it still would be somewhat disappointing compared to what we had seen out of him last year. And for a guy who's having a down year, do you give him the bag? Do you give him that $8 million AAV dollar amount? Do you give him the same amount of money as JT Miller? Honestly, I don't know. And so at the end of the day, if Brock decides he's okay with a $7 million flat AAV deal, if he's okay with 6.9, or he's okay with 7.1, or 7.2 even, just kind of pushing it a little bit, then I think it's a little easier for the Canucks to try to internalize the idea of re-signing him. But depending on his contract demands, this might not be all too easy. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Boeser responding to the trade chatter and whether or not he could get traded too? Do you think it's more likely or not that he gets traded over a Pettersson or a Miller? I want you to let me know in the comments what do you think. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.